Well, hello. Welcome back to IsaanFlicks. Today, I thought I'd talk about, or a little, about living in Isan. You know, the northeast of Thailand. Some say it's possibly the cheapest location to live in Thailand, and possibly the hottest as well. People here are friendly, down to earth, and regarded as the most friendly towards expats. However, don't expect to find as many restaurants, bars, and shopping malls aimed at foreigners or expats as you would find in, Bangkok, Pattaya, Phuket, and a few other places popular with tourists and expats. But with that said, in the four major cities in Isan, you will find almost everything that you could find in Bangkok. So, if you cannot find what you're looking for, you may not really need it after all. So, what I'm saying is, if it's not available, you can live without it. Now, the expats that come to Isan, in my opinion, are ones like myself that are married to Isan girls. Otherwise, it's away from the touristy areas. But tourists do go to the bigger cities in Isan nowadays. But coming back to saying that Isan, can be cheaper than elsewhere in Thailand, it's possible, but it's dependent upon your lifestyle. As I've seen expats up here in Isan spending a fortune on building a house, so it's all relative. Now, speaking of houses and the costs, well, the costs can vary from a few 100,000 baht. Yes, you can get them for under 1 million, up to many millions. And it's dependent on what you want and where you are in Isan. Plus, of course, the price of land, which again can be a few 100,000 baht up to many millions. Again, dependent upon the location and how much you're prepared to pay. And you have to remember that Isan is half the size of Germany, or the size of England and Wales together. So it's a large area. And like England, prices vary throughout. Now, where I am, my wife bought this plot of land, and then she bought one of these Thai wooden knockdown houses, as they call them, had that erected, and then added additions in block and cement, etc., around and under the wooden house. To say it wasn't expensive is saying, yeah, it wasn't cheap, as building materials are the same the country over, the same price the country over, but labour can be slightly cheaper here in Isan. But like anywhere, you only get what you pay for. My background is in construction, oil and gas, but also, facilities, so I know how to build a house, and I have before. So, but as this house was my wife's dream, I left everything to her. She was at site every day, she oversaw the works, while I stayed back at the apartment we rented in Ubon, which was near to the airport, and visited on requests and when she wanted me to, so, to see something. Over the years we've had a few building projects and on the houses we've lived in Thailand, and my wife knows what's required. However, it is best, in my opinion, to just leave her and the builders to get on with it and see what happens. As if you require houses to be constructed or constructed to UK, American, European, Australian standards, you're going to be disappointed. My approach, after many years of trying and failing to change local builders in Thailand, is just let them build what they do, and when it's finished, and if there's something you cannot live with, get it changed, get it fixed, get it repaired. Otherwise, just let them get on with it. But as I said, this is Thailand, not Europe or the US, and things are done differently. So it's better to just accept it. And my reasonings are not for spending a fortune or more than necessary to construct whatever you are building in Thailand. As things, no matter what you do not last as long as they do back in your own country, in our home countries. The weather makes sure of that. The sun and the rain can destroy almost anything. Furthermore, I stopped becoming a perfectionist and accepted out-of-plumb walls, wonky door frames and all that, as now I believe it adds character to the build. And who really cares if the door shuts anyway? So, you know, I used to point all these things out to my wife, and you know, when I used to see things out of plumb, and I've even bought spirit levels for the builders, who then just continue with the water bubbles anyway. My daughter always said I worry too much anyway, and never really understood the problems, and said to me once, wonky is good. So I accept wonky doors, walls, windows, and floor tiles and wall tiles not being square. Because these things don't worry the average Thai anyway. Furthermore, I have a small leak in our roof over a part of the lounge. And I've tried to find out where the leak is coming from, but I failed. So, you know, I don't know where it originates. So I just accept that when it rains, the roof leaks. And when the damage gets too bad in the ceiling, we'll just have to take the ceiling down and see where it is that we need to repair. But my wife says, don't worry about it. When it's not raining, it doesn't leak. So there you go. So, as I said, I'm no longer a perfectionist and accept the things as they are, unless the problem could cause danger to human life. This brings me on to not having really expensive furniture or fitted furniture, as nothing lasts as long as it does back in our home countries, as I said earlier, due to the climate. But it's not just the climate, there's the local fauna to contend with. Geckos, big and small, spiders, mice, skinks, snakes, to name a few, plus some birds. We have a couple of minor birds who have lived around our house since it was built, and now share food with our dogs. We can't get rid of them. Presently, we have a family of, I can just say it then, we have a family of slinks, loads of geckos, spiders, and God knows what else in and around the house, who leave their little presents for me to clean up. I've tried to remove these critters, but they come back, or their relatives come back, so it's a losing battle. You just got to put up with it. It's part of being in Isan. However, these are only part and parcel of what you have to put up with living in Thailand and in Isan in particular, and you just have to get used to it, otherwise you would go insane trying to stop it. These house guests are another reason why I would never have plain floor tiles on the floor. You know, I've always chosen the floor tiles when we've had houses built or decorated when I could, as my wife has a tendency for loud colours. Nothing wrong with that, but with bright floor tiles and what have you, it's not something I really like. So for the house we're in now, I chose it's like a wooden plank tile, and they have many knots in the wooden patterns, so that camouflages gecko and whatever else droppings. You know, living in rural Isan has many challenges for foreigners, but has some advantages as well, which I will go into in perhaps another video. But it's all dependent on your expectations and needs. Living here in Isan is not easy, and some people can't manage it, but I love it, as I need nothing more than a bed to sleep in, somewhere to, you know, use my computer and hook it up to a big screen television or whatever, which I have in our bedroom, which doubles up as my lounge, as it's a very large room anyway. And because originally it was going to be a bedroom en suite, but then my wife decided there's only the two of us, we've got a bathroom upstairs and a bathroom downstairs, we don't need one in the bedroom. So quite rightly we didn't build it. Anyway, it saved on building expense and extra cesspit, whatever you call it, for the sewage and all that, you know, so we don't need it, you know. And to end this blog, like I said, most expats come to Isan to live because their wives are from the area. So what I'm going to say is, you can take the girl out of Isan, but you can never take Isan out of the girl. My wife, she lives outdoors now, in as much as she cooks outdoors, washes outdoors, even showers outdoors. So you just have to accept an Isan girl and Isan for what it is, and don't compare it with anything else, or nobody will be interested anyway. They'll only call you a crazy falang, you know. I could go on and tell you, you know, they're all over Isan now. Not like 20 years ago or 30 years ago. There weren't many hospitals. Now there's hospitals in all the major cities. There's clinics everywhere, and a lot more people speak English, of course. They might pretend that they don't understand you because they're not used to speaking English, but most of them will if you're quiet and polite, speak slowly and don't get agitated. They will talk to you. It's amazing how many people do speak English. They're just shy, that's all. Anyway, that's about it all for today, I suppose. I could go on rattling on, but that's enough for now. So if you really need any information which you think I might be able to help you with about living in Isan, drop me an email. You'll find my email address in my About section on the channel, or simply leave a comment and I'll get back to you. But if you like this video, please like it, share it, whatever you have to do with it. But why not think about subscribing to this channel and make this old man happy? So until my next video, take care. All the best. Bye bye for now.